One of the tightest matches of the round happened at the MCG between Carlton and the Demons. The Demons, they were cursed with injury on the injury list, but they still managed to get up by 5 points. And one of their great stars and stars of the game, Jordan Lewis, is on the phone. Thanks for coming on They Came to Play.
Pleasure.
How was it out there yesterday? It seemed stressful watching from afar.
I suppose when you're involved and you have probably a direct impact on the result and what can potentially happen throughout the game, you're not as nervous as you would be sitting in either the coach's box or the stand. But, yeah, it felt like it was a Carlton home game, so there was a lot of Carlton supporters. So, especially late in the game, you could probably say that it was tense and tight.
Is it weird playing Carlton and their fans are optimistic?
Well, it's good to see. I mean, they've had a torrid run for a period of time, but I think, what they see when they go to a game is they see a side that competes, and whether they're 20 points down or 30 points down, they still believe there are chances, what we've seen the last couple of weeks. So you can only say that teams will look up for the Carlton supporters, absolutely.
So last week, Carlton famously beat the Dockers with Cripps and Curnow being taken out. Was this the strategy of you guys taking Gawn out just before the game, just to sort of out Carlton?
Just to even things up, do you think? Yeah. No, absolutely not. He was pushing to get selected, and even to the point where it was the day the game wanted to play, but he was unable to play. And as it turned out, Braden Bruce came in and did a really good job for us.
Yeah, he certainly did. We were watching the last couple of minutes before as well, re-watching that time. From us, it looked as though the players didn't really know how long was left in the game. Is that how it was?
I suppose there's a few indicators where you can look when the security guards come out. That suggests there's about 5 minutes to go. It was hard because there was an injury sort of early on in the quarter, and you don't really know how much time on was added. But both sides, I think, on the bench sort of hold up signs that say 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So you've got a fair idea how long is left.
And are you finding that easy to track? Because it used to be runners, right? Runners were very handy in terms of being the messengers. Do you find you've found it easy to adjust to looking to the bench for information?
Yeah, well, you have to be proactive, I suppose. In the past, as you said, we've had runners that come out and suggest how long he's left. But, players are now looking to the bench because that is really our only indication on how long he's left. So players have sort of taken it upon themselves to really proactive in that area.
Do you ever, has it ever come up in discussion that maybe you should hold up on the bench the wrong card just to mess with the opposition? Like hold up the big number 2 when there's actually 5 minutes left?
No.
Well, no. All right, so I'm just putting it out there.
You're onto something.
Someone will do it.
You can take that back.
Kevin Sheedy would have done it by now if he was coaching.
I don't think it'd help.
Now, yesterday was a really good win. It has been a slightly frustrating season for D's fans. How is the playing list dealing with the up and down of the season?
Yeah, it has. We clearly had a really good season last year, and we wanted to build off the back of that. But I think we also now understand is that it's a really tough competition, and things, if you don't commit every single week and you play consistent football, well, then you get results that we've had this season. And I think this later part of the year, we're trying to work on some things that will hopefully progress into next year's season. But, mathematically, we can still make it. So there's still that little bit of optimism. But certainly we would have loved to have had more wins in the bank, and that's not to be. So we just need to sort of salvage what we can from this later part of the season.
Now, Jordan, actually, I'm going to ask a hard-hitting question here. I'm going to go all Robbo. I know you deal with him each week on AFL 360. So
He's a softie.
You can deal with this. Your CEO came out a couple of weeks back and said, we expected this year to be so hard because of all the surgeries and injuries coming that we had in the off-season. We knew that we were going to struggle this year. Is that bullshit, or is that is that just him covering for a disappointing year, or did you all discuss going, oh God, guys, this is going to be a rough one?
No, you certainly don't discuss it. You can attribute poor form to a lot of things, and I think history suggests if you don't have majority of your players on the park to do a full pre-season together, that does hinder you in some aspect. But the way that we review the game, it was probably more, I suppose, the behaviours that we've reviewed that have been inconsistent and which puts us in the position that we're in now, not necessarily the lack of pre-season into a few players.
Brilliant. Thank you, Jordan. I knew you'd be honest.
Jordan, Chelsea here. There was a touched off the boot situation, and I noticed, I think it went to review, and some of the commentary team were getting a little bit critical of the fact that in the field of play, like the field umpire would call touched, and then the decision would be reviewed, because they were saying that basically as a player, you could pull up. But I'm just wondering, from a player's perspective, if you're going up for a mark attempt after you hear that touch call, I mean, are you going to still go for that mark attempt, or are you going to continue your play and then wait for the whistle? How does it play out for you?
I saw Tom McDonald celebrate. I think it was Tom McDonald that kicked the ball and celebrate. I was like, what are you doing, you idiot? Clearly touched.
You knew.
Everyone around, he was trying to bluff everyone. And I was like, that's touch. Let's just set up for, for a kick-in. And I think you're right. I think the field umpire said it was touched, and then the goal umpire thought it was touched as well. So my opinion is it doesn't need to go to a review. And Tom McDonald needs to check his celebration.
But as a player, you would continue to play until play is stopped. Is that what you're saying?
I think so. I think there's a certain point where you need to play the play out, and if the umpire makes a decision one way or the other, well then that is a signal to stop playing. The players getting encouraged, I suppose, by coaches just to play to the whistle. So if there's no whistle, you just continue to play.
Yeah.
One last question before we get... We've also got some hard-hitting profile questions, Jordan. They are questions without notice. I'd be worried if I were you. But one last thing I want to... 2 weeks ago, you had that... 3 weeks ago, a brilliant win against Freo at the MCG, and it was Stephen May's first win for the Ds. So you gave him the Gatorade shower. Now, normally you're doing that to 18, 19-year-old boys. Doing it to another semi-senior player, older player, a grown man, does that feel awkward?
No one is exempt from any sort of behaviour like that. It's a tradition, I suppose. But when I was at Hawthorn, we weren't allowed to do it for some reason or another. But it's
uncouth.
A bad look, I suppose. But no matter who it is, they get the Gatorade shower and hopefully get that little sting in their eyes from all the sugar.
So, did you get one for your first win at the Ds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Baptism.
How interesting. Now, Jordan, we're obsessed with the old footy records here, and we used to love the player profiles, right? When you look back and find out what people were watching, drinking, eating in 1986. Now, we're going to bring it back here and ask you a couple of get-to-know-you questions. Danny, why don't you kick us off?
We always want to know, Jordan, what's your favourite movie?
Oh, Shawshank Redemption.
Yes! Ding, 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 ding.
Yes, nailed it. All right, perfect. I'm going to go next. If you weren't playing footy, what would you do as a job?
Winemaker.
A winemaker.
Ooh,
yeah. You got to get in with Dylan Grimes. Get him to teach you.
No, I've got a wine out. I do my own stuff.
Oh, what?
What's your wine of choice?
Pinot.
When did you get into this?
Yeah, why don't we know this?
I made my first wine this year. So I've teamed up with a few of my mates who are winemakers in the Yarra Valley, and we've just brought out a Pinot from Mornington Peninsula. So it's sold out. So it's gone really well, the first vintage.
You legend. That's awesome.
Are people embrace it? Because I made homebrew for a couple of years, and people always give you a look when you offer them a bottle of your own homebrew. It's the same look you get if you say, hey, do you want to come and hide out in a fort I made in my bed?
Yeah, generally the homebrew is generally high alcohol levels.
Yes.
That might scare some off.
Yeah, wine from the Yarra Valley is a bit more flash, isn't it? Offering people your own wine. Chelsea?
That's correct.
So do you have just moving along with the wine theme then, a favourite destination wine region? What would it be? Apart from Mornington Peninsula.
I can't go past Burgundy. So.
Oh, wow.
Homegrown, I suppose, Mornington or Yarra Valley, yeah.
Yeah. But Burgundy, no. Nice.
Yeah, Burgundy's too expensive.
And what meal would you cook with your wine? What are you going to serve? What are you going to wine match it with?
Maybe pork.
Oh, yeah. Okay, delicious.
Or some roast beef.
Does pork go with red? Is that?
Pork goes with red.
It might be a lighter red.
Red meats go with red. Wine.
Yeah, pork's white
go
meat.
with white or red, high fat, high acidity, yeah.
You can do anything these days.
This is good.
Whatever you need to do. As long as it tastes good.
Jordan, this is awesome.
You've blown our minds with this winemaking stuff. I think this is going to be, Bob Murphy has that show on Foxtel where he, interviews people. I think, Jordan Lewis's winemaking tour.
Absolutely. You could do tours.
Yeah, I like that. People can pay for me to go to Burgundy and I'll take them on a tour over there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Don't pitch it to the ABC. I wouldn't bother about that. Pitch it to the bigwigs and see how you go. Jordan, thank you so much for chatting with us. Good luck for the rest of the season. It's been great to have you on.
Perfect. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. Good one.
Just hang
yeah.